Seasons seem to pass by quicker the older I grow. Spring blooms and fades, summer evaporates before I even have the chance to feel its presence, and autumn slips through my grasp like red and orange leaves floating from their sleeping dying trees. But winter's my favorite. Its forthcoming coldness, whispered in the winds of fall, beckoning the excitement of all to come. When the radio hums with its Christmas blues and the earth and grass snuggle in for their cozy winter sleep. I love the cascade of rain that's music to my ears. I adore the blush noses, the sweaters, the gloves, all the warmth amidst the cold. I love the turkey that progressively gets me fatter, and the apple cider that washes down my throat to quench the pie's dehydration. But most of all, I love the inexplicable essence of the season. Hugs from friends that warm you up, the snuggles with my cat laying by the fireplace, reading books beneath the fog of winter storms. Weather at its prime, yet stillness unparalleled. When do fall and winter meet? Is it when elves awake from their slumber and begin their preparations? Perhaps, but I like another whimsical thought. What if the first drop of snow, floating down on a dim but humming city, drifting through the crisp winter air, always lands in a special place? Or maybe on someone who especially needed it that night. One of those dreamy, snuggly nights, my mother told me a story of a boy living on the streets of a little hamlet outside of St. Berkeley in north of England. His name was Theodore Murray Chesterfield. Theo, she described, felt the dampness of sleet-covered roads soak through his boots. He felt the frigid concrete against his back as he slept in a frozen alleyway. He didn't have a cozy bed to sleep on, or a mother to kiss him on the cheek and wish him a Merry Christmas. He hadn't a home, nor a friend, other than the mangy cats wandering the back streets of St. Berkeley.
You see, winter wasn't his favorite season. No, it was a prayer for survival.
A horror story he was forced to endure. He devoutly believed in God during the summer months, but when Mother Nature blew her mighty winds upon the world, freezing the seas and stiffening the bones of trees, Theo's faith flickered. It was on such a night where the fog set in and the streets empty that he sat alone, stomach growling and arms shivering as he scavenged for scraps. But tonight was different. As the temperature plunged and Theo waited for the storekeepers to throw out their unsold goods, hours passed by, and not a single morsel was to be found. He looked into the sky and milky stars began peering through the darkened canvas. He concluded that the storekeepers were not coming. It was too cold, and they left the trash until the next morning. Theo cried, fearing this could be the end. He desperately missed his mother and her extravagant Christmas dinners with those rich figgy puddings. And as he wept, he closed his eyes and suddenly the sound of a bell rang. A shop door opened. He heard the methodic thud of rain boots thumping against the ground approaching him. Theo opened his eyes, and there before him stood an old man with a flour-dusted apron.
Come, child, I have something for you.
Theo ducked into the bakery, the scent of fresh cinnamon rolls consuming him. The man sat Theo down and came back with a plate of steaming baked goods. Theo looked at the man and back down at the plate and began devouring the succulent and heavenly meal. The old man scratched his beard and grinned. After Theo could eat no more, he tried to steel himself to be cast back into the bitter darkness. As he stepped out into the alleyway, the old man stopped him.
Son, you can stay with me tonight. I have an empty guest room since my daughter is away.
Theo's tears began to stream down his cheeks. He couldn't believe he was finally meeting his Christmas miracle. He hugged the old man so tight that the man almost chuckled from surprise. Then, as if to say God was watching them both, as my mother claims, Theo felt a single snowflake fall onto his nose. I've always remembered that story as a reminder that love, comfort, and family are not gifts you are promised or guaranteed, but if you have them, that is all the Christmas miracle you need.
Merry Christmas, boy. You're safe.